Your Denver Broncos are just a day away from mandatory OTAs, which means starting tomorrow, we're going to have actual 11-on-11 footage. It is going to be wild, but over these next couple weeks is truly the heartbreak because we have some hidden gems on this team. Sean Payton and George Payton have procured so much talent that you can't carry all the guys forward. And so we have some hidden gems who are definitely going to get cut and get picked up by other squads. In this video, we're going to break down each position, how many players at that position I think go forward, which position battles really you need to be keeping an eye on at mandatory OTAs, and then obviously at training camp, which is just a couple of weeks away, which is awesome. Today at Broncos facility, it is media day, and if you've ever wondered, where do they get those really sick videos of our players like doing player introductions when it's like, Bo Nix, University of Auburn. Well, all of that kind of stuff, Fox and CBS and all the Jumbotron footage, all of that is filmed to today. We see Travis Hunter doing his media day for the Jaguars, but the Broncos, they move in silence. We remember Sean Payton doesn't want to brag about the work. He wants to do the work, so we don't get to see any of those cool hype videos until we see Bo Nix's first touchdown week 1 against the Titans. So let's dive in here. So what I have is I've used AI to create a little dashboard here. AI is the worst when it just rips off my content and then repurposes it on another channel, but when you can use it for something really cool like this, I'm absolutely loving it. So what I did is I loaded up our entire 90-man roster, and we're going to go through and I put on there how many guys at that position we carried last year, and then we'll make predictions here together and kind of talk about them for each position. So last year, we carried 3 quarterbacks famously, which I thought was overkill, but at the start of the season, we didn't even know who our number 1 quarterback is. Now there is no doubt we know who it is. We had Mike McGlinchey just say this is Bo Nix's team, so he is definitely going to be there. And then I am hoping we just carry 2 quarterbacks. I hope it's Jarrett Stidham and Bo Nix, and I hope that buys us a spot here on our 53-man roster. Now, hopping into running back, there is a ton of controversy going on at the running back position because of the Broncos flying in J.K. Dobbins and having him go out to dinner with the running back coach and then go in for a team facility tour. And the question is like, wait, are we going to actually get J.K. Dobbins? Last year, we carried 4 running backs, and obviously that didn't work out. We didn't have a single 100-yard rusher, but then we went out and got R.J. Harvey in the deepest running back class in really NFL draft history probably. And so I think, obviously, you're talking R.J.'s a lock. I think Audric Estime is also a lock. I think Jalil's a lock because I love all of those dudes so much. Now, we also heard Sean Payton directly mention Tyler Bidet as an incredible pass blocker, and then we know that like Sean Payton, once he was healthy, activated him back into our playoff game against the Buffalo Bills. We also know that it was like he averaged over 7 yards a carry and was an absolute stud going all the way back to college. So I think he is a lock as well. If the Broncos do end up getting J.K. Dobbins, I could see it being Jalil on the chopping block. But let's go ahead and carry 4 running backs. Let me know in the comments, am I on there or off? And then I think Blake Watson would be the odd man out here. Then here we go. We get to the fullback position. Famously, we remember the Broncos Michael Burton was on the team for most of the year, but Sean Payton was super cunning and actually cut Michael Burton. He didn't make our 53-man roster, even though he played pretty much every game for us, because Sean Payton is really good at like knowing, hey, I'm going to lose a couple of guys and they're going to get injured. So I can have guys on my practice squad who I activate for game day, and he really it's a dangerous game because anyone can sign a guy off of your practice squad. So I'm going to say Michael Burton plays for us the entire season, but I'd say he is not going to make the 53, and he's going to agree to Sean Payton again that he's going to join this team and play off of our practice squad. So this is trying to buy us some space so we don't have to make really, really hard cuts in a little bit, but I could be wrong there. Maybe Michael Burton's like, hey, I've been in this league a long time. I don't want to see my name on there that I was cut, right? Like he's got a family and all of that. And it doesn't feel cool when on Twitter, it's like the Broncos have cut Michael Burton, even if he ends up coming back here. So, you know what? Put Michael Burton on the team. I love him so much. And Sean Payton does too. So we got a fullback. Michael Burton's going to make the team. That makes this way trickier. Last year we had 6 wide receivers. Let's go 6 again, and you're going to see how quickly you end up doing something that hurts. Remember, it wasn't that long ago that we had to cut Tim Patrick, and everyone was like, what are we doing cutting Tim Patrick? Cortland Sutton, absolute lock. Marvin Mims, absolute lock. Devon Vele, I'm going to do a whole video on him. He just looks like an absolute stud. We know getting him out of Utah. He was older coming into the season and did not disappoint. If it wasn't for that rib injury, I think he could have given Malik Neighbors a run for his money, just because like that's how high his production was, and not just the games he missed with a broken rib, but then he just didn't look the same again until the end of the season. So Vele's a lock. Troy Franklin, I think, is also a lock, just in what we're hearing Sean Payton talk about OTAs, that several explosive plays, I guess, he's already been a part of. We know Bo Nix loved him at Oregon, and we saw them connect finally in that Buffalo Bills game. Then I also think Pat Bryant's a lock, because we heard Sean Payton compare him to, obviously, Michael Thomas right after drafting him. Now here's where we get to Trent Sherfield. Is just a special teams nightmare and a monster, can play the gunner role, so I think he has a chance at making it. We hear A.T. Perry get talked about all the time, like just kind of like a darling of Twitter for sure. He was the guy who played for Sean Payton with the New Orleans Saints, and just has the, like, physical attributes that are off the charts, and is an absolute stud. And we had him on our practice squad last year. We never saw him in games. And then we have Joaquin Davis and Jerjuan Newton, who are both guys who really popped off playing at kind of smaller schools, who are undrafted guys who've been invited to training camp and invited, obviously, to Denver Broncos OTAs and obviously training camp. And then Michael Bandy's kind of a slot monster who played for the Chargers for a while, kind of plays that Wes Welker type role. I think on here that it would be Trent Sherfield, and the rest of these guys do not make the team. But we know that Sean Payton does not care where you were drafted or where you came from. He cares about what you do at this point on. And so give me Joaquin Davis to make this team. This is the guy who ran a 4.4 40, and he's like 6'6", and he's just massive, and we've talked about him on this channel. So let's go ahead and make this roster. He just fits the role of what Sean Payton... Man, I'm really going back and forth between Sherfield and Joaquin Davis. Let's go Joaquin Davis because I got it on here. All right, tight end. And the reason I don't think it's going to be Michael Bandy, I think in essence you're going to have Evan Ingram be your slot receiver in action, not necessarily in title, but he's going to be taking snaps out of the slot. And so I think that is why it's not going to be Michael Bandy making that role. We had 4 tight ends last season. I think similarly, we are going to be at about 4 again, and I think it's obviously Evan Ingram is your first one. Adam Troutman, definitely your best blocking tight end, and then I think, we had that flyer that we took on Cale Bloner, knowing that he was the last pick that we took in the 7th round, and that the Patriots wanted him, the Colts wanted him, and then we just signed this guy here, Caden Prieskorn, to our practice squad. Or he was invited to OTAs as well. So I think Loner's got to make it, which means that either you are bringing Nate Adkins or Lucas Kroll on. We know Sean Payton loved Lucas Kroll and bragged him up a ton, but the thing with Nate Adkins is he could also play that fullback role, so he's got more versatility there than probably Lucas Kroll does. And so this is really where it gets tricky, that Nate Adkins, if we go him because he has more positional versatility and can play fullback, Lucas Kroll has a very high ceiling that I still don't know if we've even seen, and I'm particularly tied to him because he was the first video I think I made on this channel that had over 1,000 views, and I lost my mind. So give me Lucas Kroll. Nate Adkins, totally. If we cut Nate Adkins, he will be playing on another team, absolutely, and this is where you're starting to see the problem. So we are at 17 of our 53. Now we get to the true depth of this team, which is in our offensive line. Last year we had... the way I had this is like you got offensive tackle, and then you got guard, and then you have center, and then these are just generally, I don't know why it broke it down like that, but let's go in here. So offensive tackle, definitely Garrett Bowles makes a team. Mike McGlinchey makes a team. Frank Crum, I think, definitely makes this team. We're seeing him on the sidelines with Bo Nix at Nuggets games and Avalanche game. We know that his RAS score was off the charts, and that working with our offensive line coach, Zach Strief, he could be dangerous. We heard Alex Palczewski's name a ton. Matt Pert can be like a swing tackle and play other places as well, but let's see how we're doing here. If we bring these 3 through here, and then guard, obviously we're going to have both Quinn Meinerz and Ben Powers make the team as both of our starters, and then if we're going center, Luke Wattenberg is going to make this team. Alex Forsythe, we know, is the one who allowed that blocked field goal. I mean, Sean Payton tried to take the blame for it, but it ultimately was Forsythe where the block happened. And then we have a couple undrafted guys here who I think definitely have a shot at making this team, and I'm going to put them on the team over an Alex Palczewski here or a Matt Pert. So let's drop this down to 3, and I think that we are going to have Xavier Truss or Caleb Webb. Both of these guys are played in the SEC at some point in time, as both of them played for Georgia. I think it's going to be Clay Webb who makes the team, the one who was under a federal investigation. His name has totally been cleared, and he is good. So I think that is where we go. So that's where I'm at. So our total now, we're at 24 of our 53 slots, and I think that offensive line and that offense just in general sounds pretty dirty. And then, you know what? He's been with Bo a lot too, so let's make him make our squad as well. All right, so now we're getting to truly the meat and potatoes of this team, which is our defense, which is going to be. We have several players who are going to get cut from this team on defense who will start somewhere else. I guarantee it. So let's start with our defensive line. And I think this is going to be right away where you're having trouble. Zach Allen, John Franklin Myers, and Savion Jones, our latest draft pick, all make it. And then I think Uwazurike makes it as well. You heard that just from physical attributes alone, this guy is an absolute stud. He missed some time because he was involved in a gambling situation, his rookie year. And so he was suspended, but from all accounts, he is back in it and has the trust of the Broncos. So I think we have 5 here. That's just 4. I think we have 4 here. All 4 of those guys make it. And then when we come to this part of our defensive line, DJ Jones makes it. Malcolm Roach makes it as an absolute run stopper as well. And then we had Jordan Jackson last year make it. So let's go those 3 right there. Those 3 are who make it from like the front of the defensive line, like the nose tackle-ish area. Then outside linebacker. So that means outside linebacker, let's go Jonathan Cooper, Nick Bonito, Jonah Ellis. And this is, guys, you're starting to see it right here. So let's go Dondre Tillman. Q Robinson for sure makes it. So we only carried 5 of those last year. And I thought Johnny Walker had a shot of making it too. Let's put Johnny Walker in as like our first cut candidate if we have to get down to it here in a second. All right, inside linebacker. You want to talk about massive upgrade in an offseason? That is here, where last year Alex Singleton and Dre Greenlaw were not on the team. They are our first 2 who are going to make the team. I also think Drew Sanders makes the team. I think Justin Stranad, because of how he plays special teams, makes this team as well. Man, and you're in big trouble there if you're already looking at this and like, what, Lavelle Bailey's going to miss this team after his interception in the preseason, after Sean Payton called him once, but not just once, but twice to get him to come to Denver. I think Lavelle Bailey is the cut candidate here, which hurts me to say. Cornerback, very, very good team here at cornerback, and this is where you might see the Broncos make a trade in order to get something from a guy who might get cut, because I think you are just so loaded up here. It's crazy to me that guy just got cut from the Packers, and no one in Denver is saying like, hey, let's get him here. And when is there ever a great cornerback cut and you don't consider him for your team? Well, when you have the defensive player of the year, that's when that happens. So Pat Surtain makes the team. Riley Moss makes the team. Our newest pick, Jahdae Barron, makes the team. Chris Abrams-Drain, I'm super high on him, and I think he makes the team. And so this is where you're like, Jaquan, is he going to make the team? I think he ultimately does, but we are at 5 corners, and so that means Damari Mathis is off the team, and he showed a lot of flashes at times over these past couple of years. So that's hurtful to see happen. You could see a world in which the Broncos, if they feel good enough about Jahdae Barron right at OTAs and training camp, try to get something for Jaquan, knowing that it is his last year on contract. So let's see how we're doing here. We're at 47 of 53 spots. We might have to go back through here and make some even harder cuts. And yeah, both of these guys, Quentin Newsom was the guy who I think you were really counting on at special teams here. All right, safety. We had 4 last year. I think that's exactly what we're going to do again. PJ Locke better make this team because I love him. Hufanga makes a team. Brandon Jones makes the team. And then it's truly who on here can play the best special teams to be a backup. And so it's either DTL, Delarian Turner, or Yell, or it's going to be JL Skinner. Either of these guys are going to end up on another roster if they get cut. And even Sam Franklin, that's Rizzy's guy who he just absolutely adores and wanted here, who played for the Panthers and is just a special teams ace. So give me Sam Franklin, and then you're in trouble because JL Skinner and Delarian Turner-Yell are playing somewhere else for sure. We're going to have a kicker. Will Lutz is going to make the team. Jeremy Crenshaw is going to be an absolute upgrade at punter for sure. And then our Mitch Fraboni will be healthy and will be our long snapper. And so let's take a look. How do we do? So we're one over. So we got to go in, and even though we've already made tough cuts here, we've got to go in and make another cut. Is there any way that Bo Nix could also be our kicker? Nope, that's not going to happen. Let's go back to what I was saying. Michael Burton, you're not going to make the roster, but we will hide you on our practice squad. You won't sign somewhere else, and then you will come back on. You will play the whole season, but you're going to have to wait till someone gets hurt in week 2. So let me know, where am I right? Where am I wrong? That was a long video. I might never do something like this again. I thought it'd be fun, but OTA start tomorrow. We got real news tomorrow. It's going to be awesome in Broncos country. We have so much to believe in.